Hello, this is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks and Futures Market Preview for Tuesday, the 25th of October, 2016. Hope you're having a good trading week. Here's a look at the ES front-month futures contract. By the way, I say that we had a very, very, very boring day again on Monday on only 1.3 billion NASDAQ shares. We'll look at that in a minute. But our top pick that triggered off the report, AKMI long, worked very well. So, again, stick with the system. Don't overtrade, and you can still do well on this stuff. So, anyways. Here's the ES front month futures contract. Does not look any different than it has for a while. Not much to say there. Let's just go through all the stuff we like to look at. Here's crude oil down 5 cents to 50.47, which is just a blip, obviously. Gold down $2.50, also just a blip. S&P up 10 for the day, but most of it was a gap. We'll look at the intraday action in a moment. NDX was up 58. It gapped and then continued a little bit higher. Markets were completely mixed with the NASDAQ side pushing up and the S&P side pushing down after the gap up. SOX was up 15, getting near highs again. The biotechs continue to sell off. This is a new closing low for the last several months after that 13 sell signal that we got back in September, so it's still feeling the pressure from that. VIX dropped 32 cents to 13.02, getting a very low reading on the VIX. The trend 1.17 puts the 10-day moving average at 1.01, which is not a signal either way. Here's the number, 1.3 billion NASDAQ shares and change, again, back down into the last week's light volume environment. If you draw a line under that 1.4 level, you don't get a lot of days. Matter of fact, I should put a line on the chart right there for that particular level, and anytime we're below it, you just realize how bad things are, and we're definitely feeling it again. Advanced decline ratio on the NASDAQ was plus 590, good breadth, positive breadth, but again, you gapped up, you would expect that. Advanced decline ratio on the New York's plus 619. Google gains $11.68. That's a new all-time closing high in Google. Apple gains $1, still very near the recent highs, at least for the year. Amazon up 19, because why not? Again, we're entering the time of year. I talk about this when you get into about the second week of November. We're not there yet, but getting close. Where stocks that are up for the year, like let's look at Amazon here, right? A low of 480, now sitting at 838. Anybody who bought this stock along the way this year is up. Even if they bought it back in January where it was at 500-600, they're still up nicely. Most people do not want to sell those stocks going into the last month of the year and have to pay capital gains taxes this coming April. So the stocks tend to have no sellers. They tend to go even higher. So keep that in mind. Stocks that look like this, unless the market were to really break down, will probably keep going higher come November, the second half of November into December. We make a lot of money with those. Netflix down 17 cents. That's a blip. Tesla gains $2.67. Let's look at the intraday action on the ES. Is the 5-minute chart, and you can see how flat this was. Total range for the day was only about 8 points on the ES after the gap up. Look at that afternoon, how flat that was. NASDAQ side, like I said, a little stronger, but even then, look how flat it was. The last 3 candles are after the stock market closed. Look how flat it was. Yes, it gapped up and went a little higher, whereas the ES gapped up and went a little lower. But boy, that's just pathetic. All right, so there's not much else to talk about there in terms of economic data that's coming out on Tuesday. We've got a couple of numbers pre-market in the Case-Shiller 20-City Index and the FHFA Housing Price Index. Those are both housing numbers, really, and then 30 minutes into the market, consumer confidence. That's could be a decently important number 30 minutes in, so just be aware of that. In terms of earnings, we are still in core earnings season. A lot of companies releasing Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Even though Microsoft, which we reported last Thursday, it was usually the end of earnings season, this year more stocks were shifted into this week. So we've got a lot of earnings still coming out, and that does create a different environment. We talk about that every quarter when this happens. Some people they're just not used to how different it is, but it's a very different environment. A lot of bigger traders take off, so that can explain some of the light volume, as people just want to get through more of these earnings and get a picture of what all these companies are saying for the foreseeable future. Obviously, we've got an election hanging out there, another week or so. Thankfully, that'll be done with, and we'll go from there. So that's about it. We got a straightforward trading day on Tuesday. Hopefully, volume's a little better. We'll go for it. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal 12. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a good trading week.